As you know, in the Manhattan federal courthouse, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the accomplice, the government says, actually more than the accomplice, part of the whole ring of trafficking young women for sex, is on trial. She was associated, as you know, again, with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, her trial has been going on, and our own Adam Klasfeld has been in the courtroom and was in the courtroom this morning because cameras are not allowed, but it's even better. So, Adam, tell us what is happening in the courtroom. Who is on the stand now? Who was on the stand this morning? And give us the flavor of how Ghislaine Maxwell is, reacting to all this.
Is a major witness, a crucial witness, Juan Alessi. He basically ran things in Jeffrey Epstein's Palm Beach house for more than a decade. And so Ghislaine Maxwell seemed to, of course, recognize him from the stand. And when he was asked to identify the witness, there was this moment where he was looking for her. You know, people are obscured with face masks because this is a time of COVID. And when he was looking at her, she appeared to nod in familiarity with him. But there's some major lines from his testimony which just began, but we're hearing things like him testifying that Jeffrey doesn't like to be looked at in the eyes. He talked about grueling hours working for Jeffrey Epstein, basically saying also that Ghislaine Maxwell was with him 95% of the time. Now, remember, the defense case, their opening statement is that she's a stand-in for Jeffrey Epstein. She's a lightning rod. They can't get to him because he's dead, so they're going to go for her. So that undermines that testimony, opening statement. When he testifies, she was with him 95% of the time. It makes it much harder to claim she didn't know. So that's where we just started off with a bang right there with his testimony before going to lunch recess. But before that, there was another crucial government witness this morning, and that witness was Lisa Rocchio. And we knew she was going to take the stand because she's an expert witness on grooming behaviors. She was telling about what grooming is, and for just as a broad overview, it's normalizing the process of sexual abuse, so that in childhood sexual abuse, making things seem normal, kind of acclimatizing alleged victims to the sexual abuse. And she broke it down into 5 stages. And during this testimony, now this is important because jurors, I could see it from the courtroom, they appeared to be very attentive. There was a lot of eye contact between the witness and the jurors. One of them, particularly when she was rattling off the 5 stages of grooming, one appeared to be nodding at stage 3, which was lies and manipulation. And another appeared to be taking notes. There was sporadic note-taking when we got to cross-examination, and the defense attorney tried to undermine it. Their eyes were darting back and forth between the defense attorney, Jeffrey Paliuca, and the witness, Lisa Rocchio. So this was a very busy morning. 2 very key witnesses, one being a fact witness who was there in Jeffrey Epstein's house running the place, and a key psychological expert who's going to give jurors for the prosecution's view of the psychological background of what happened, the basis for understanding the allegations of grooming these young women for Jeffrey Epstein's predation, and these 14-year-old down to 14-year-old girls for Jeffrey Epstein's predation.
Yeah, and Adam, are the charges for Ghislaine Maxwell that she merely groomed, or has there been a witness or a testimony that's actually put her in the actual sexual acts?
Yes. So the allegations are both. And just yesterday, we had testimony, the conclusion of very harrowing and emotional testimony by Jane. And she is testifying under a pseudonym. She claims that not only did Ghislaine Maxwell normalize the sexual abuse by Jeffrey Epstein, she alleged from the witness stand on her first day of testimony that Ghislaine Maxwell fondled her breasts. She alleged that there were orgies that took place in front of her with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein present. So the fondling was the first time we heard about allegations of sexual abuse, hands-on sexual abuse by Ghislaine Maxwell. Of course, on cross-examination, defense attorneys tried to undermine it. They suggested that she told a different story to the government when she first went to them. And in redirect, the prosecutor said, well, was there a reason you didn't tell everything right off the bat? And she said, essentially, because I was in a room full of strangers telling them my deepest and darkest secrets. Yeah. So there was that back and forth right there where there was back and forth questioning and very emotional testimony yesterday. And the man who is at the center of where everything happened in the Palm Beach estate is on the stand now and will return after the lunch break.
And I have one more question before I sign you off, Adam, because I know you have to get some lunch before you go back into the courtroom, or tweet to us and then follow Adam Classfield at his account on Twitter, also Long Crime News. But what is Ghislaine Maxwell doing? Is she talking to attorneys? Is she reacting in any way? Are the jurors staring at her? Give us a little bit of the flavor of Ghislaine Maxwell.
She's very attentive and engaged in her case. She's whispering to her attorney sitting next to her, which this morning at least was Laura Menninger, appears to be taking notes. I've mentioned it before that before trial, her defense attorney made a lot of hay about the conditions of her jail, which, are widely acknowledged to be grueling. This is a Brooklyn federal jail that has had lots of those allegations, and they made it sound very grim. But here she is in court, looking healthy, looking alert, looking engaged in her defense. It's a very zealous defense, and so it contradicts the kind of pattern of allegations that was established in the lead up to trial. Here's someone who's looking pretty relaxed, pretty engaged, and with a strong rapport with her attorneys.
Hi, this is Dan Abrams with exciting news for all of our Law and Crime followers on YouTube. You can now get the live Law and Crime Network with YouTube TV for all of your daily live trial coverage, legal news, expert analysis, and original true crime programs. Subscribe to YouTube TV today and then locate Law and Crime in the channel guide. And for only $1.99 a month, you can add the network to your bundle. Watch Law and Crime every day with YouTube TV. We put you in the jury box.